So I have set myself the goal of earning £50,000 in 1 year by self-publishing a book series. Can I do it? Can I make £50,000 in 1 year? Let's see. The locations in my Half Dead series books actually takes place in my home city of Sunderland. So I wanted to take you on a tour of some of those locations because there's some actual locations in the book. So the first scene in book one shows part of a heist. Now, we don't know what's happened, only that the Half Dead are chasing two of our main characters, Quigley and Paula, and they're running full pelt down this high street, which is teeming with the Half Dead. They've got guns in their hands, they're desperately fleeing for their lives, whilst also being chased by Will, who's an armed police officer. And they're running down this street, which is this street here, which is called Homeside, and it's in Sunderland city centre. And I always had this street in mind for where the heist takes place. So in my mind, the post office that they're not actually robbing a post office. It's the post office van that's bringing the money to the post office on the morning. So I always figured the post office would be here along this side on the right hand side of the street. Now, what's weird about this is I've never been to this street for a number of years. So when I was writing, I was writing from memory. And then when I came to do this video and I came here, I actually discovered that there used to be a nightclub called Sinatra's that I used to kind of frequently go to when I was in my 20s. And obviously this was quite a few years ago, but that club was there and there was a few buildings next to it. But now it's all being knocked down. It's just this huge car park. So as the story progresses, we eventually see what went down with the actual heist. And on the other side of the street, I envisaged a hardware store which doesn't actually exist in this particular street. Neither does the post office either. So whilst I have set the story in real locations, I have taken some liberties just for the sake of the story. So I've invented kind of little places and locations within actual real locations. Now, the street in the book is very much longer than this. And at the end, Quigley and Paula turn left towards an industrial area, which in reality isn't here. So that location is actually in another part of the city. At the time of writing, it used to be like a small film studio. So let's have a look at the actual film studio. So here we are outside what used to be that studio. Now, it used to be called Enterprise Studios. And it's here that our main character, Harriet, and her teenage daughter, Lily, end up alongside Quigley and Paula and Will and two others who are called Eddie. Eddie owns the film studio and Kelly's an actress. And these two have been making a naughty film just before the apocalypse descends. So there's some saucy scenes in the book as well. Book one was written as a film script, so that was going to be taking place inside of this studio. Now, this is a picture. This is me outside of the actual studio with one of the owners. And no, that's not Eddie. This is Hank, who saved my film Melanie's Grave in post-production. And now that's a long story. I was a filmmaker in another life. Go and check out some earlier videos if you want to know about that film and some of the problems that I had whilst making it. It's called Melanie's Grave. Because I was going to make a film there, I took some recce photos at the time. But for the life of me, I couldn't find them when I was making this video. So I don't know, I must have deleted them. But anyway, I did manage to pull some images from the company website like to show you what it actually looked like inside. So there's a number of studios and office space on two different levels. And I utilised every room when I was writing the story. But in book one, this is where most of the story takes place. But we flash back to find out what actually happened to some of the characters, like kind of earlier on before the outbreak. And they all end up at this particular film studio and they get trapped inside by the Half Dead who are outside banging on the doors. So in this last shot, someone's got a car inside of the studio, and that's exactly what I was intending to do with the Half Dead. There's a scene in Half Dead where there's a car inside of this particular studio. So that's it for this video. I'm going to keep it short because there are lots of other locations to show you. And I've split it into 3 videos, so it's a 3-parter. So if you like seeing some of the locations, the relocations of where the Half Dead is set, then hit subscribe, leave some comments, see what you think. And also, if you actually live in Sunderland, leave us a comment, and again, tell me what you think about this video.